Send my time. I tell you. Luckily you here, because usually as soon as we get on here, within 5 seconds, she hit the record button. Don't give no warning, no countdown. All you hear is recording in progress. It's like, man, can I get a heads up? Like a three,
And
two,
like,
one,
three,
something.
two.
Anyway, what's happening? What's popping? What's going on? How you doing? How's everybody?
I'm good. Good. I just told India you saved me because my
I ain't
Twitter
say
fingers were
anything.
about to get real. I was ready. I guess it was more like this.
Word?
Yeah, these folks on the internet are
Special?
they something.
Internet gangsters?
Man. Stuff they would never say to somebody in real life for fear of getting they fronts knocked out. They say on the internet.
Mm. What? What's going on? What's popping? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of Just Cuz podcast. Uh, I have India, Molly,
Hey,
my running gun, as always. We got special guests on here tonight. If you got I don't know if you got a special nickname or anything you want to go by. The internet thug, the comment, gangster. The let me get your facts straight.
Listen, Star is fine.
Star. All right, we got
Star is
a
fine.
star on the line. Future senator. I don't know who she. Did you just do the poke with your lips?
No, I was telling Hayden that. What's up? Because you know he want to say hi. I am. In a little bit when I'm done.
We've been online for 5 minutes. He ain't said one word, but as soon as we go live, now he want to come over here and start talking.
1, 3, 2, 6. Yes. Yes. You know he gonna come tell you stink.
guys, the dude named Rashid, he's not stupid.
He loves messing up his name on purpose and has been doing it forever.
Really?
Yes. Rashid. 1, 3, 2, 6.
Anyway, so let's kick this episode off.
hmm
I
So
know
we're going to be discussing what tonight?
you said you wanted to talk about what was it? I don't know. Dynamics
Of being biracial.
by yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. That's what
I'm
we
gonna,
go with.
I'm gonna sing a song, but I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, all right. So, we had different family members that are dealing with the dynamics of being parents and in this generation, and I get a lot of conversations with them, and we've been talking between the three of us, so I thought it would be great to talk about.
Okay.
Uno now.
So Star X is here as Ray Ray.
I'm gonna get that put on a shirt when I retire.
Get
I'm gonna
your name
put
tag.
on. Yeah, I'm gonna change my uniform when I retire though.
Yeah. So how do you feel about it, Star?
So I was telling Saint earlier because we were having this conversation about being biracial and the whole the stigma that comes with having a white mother versus having a black mother. And I was like, the first time I heard somebody say that, I didn't really get it because I was like, what does that matter, right? But as I'm watching people, especially people younger than me, um, it feels like a thing. I don't think that they have the same experiences if your mother is black, and I know a lot of people may not agree with this, but growing up in a home where my mother, because she was a single mom for a while, and I didn't grow up with my dad, who is obviously white. Um, I had a different dynamic. I didn't grow up focusing on the fact that I was mixed. I didn't grow up focusing on the fact that I had a white parent. I grew up in a black house with black rules. We had the same black sayings that everybody else did. I didn't have, like, I grew up as a black kid. I never thought about the fact that I was biracial until somebody pointed it out. Like, why are you lighter than everyone else in your house? And, but listening, especially to this newer generation talk, it is definitely a different dynamic between which one of your parents you grew up with and which one is the black parent or which one's the white parent. And it's just interesting to see how they talk and the ideas that they have. Because I don't know. They're different. It's different. And I don't know how to explain it other than I grew up with a black mom watching her and experiencing the same things that everybody else did. So I never focused on being light skinned or being different or white people's problems because they weren't our problems growing up with a black mom. So I feel for some of these kids just a little bit.
Yeah, I do too. I think that it's gonna be hard. It has been hard on different kids because they're trying to identify which side they should go with sometimes. That's what I have been told. So it depends on, I guess, the location too, um, where you were brought up at for the kids. So
Mm-hmm.
every region is different. Acceptance from other people. Um, for Delaware, I think that it's coming along, but it's not as what it would be accepted more in a city setting. So, you used to get the
Mm-hmm.
books and, well, why are they together? And that's not acceptable. But now it's coming along. So, mhm.
Is it?
A little bit, a little bit.
Is it really? I don't know. I feel like I feel like there's a population of people who are just being with the person that they like or love or have feelings with. I still think I still think there's a generation of people who are still teaching uh hate, and they're not letting it go. Uh, and like you, and it's kind of unfortunate, but I feel like the current leadership in the country is also allowing it to be acceptable. There's a lot of things that are being accepted or that's being written or signed off on, uh, whether it's legal or if they even have the authority to actually do it. Um, but there's a lot that's happening, and it's a continuance of this fear factor of like this continuous this propaganda of scarcity. Like there's not enough, there's not enough this, there's not enough that. We don't have enough people for this. The birth rate is not the same as it was. We're not gonna be the majority anymore. We're gonna be a minority in X amount of years and blase blase and yada yada. So and then you're emboldening a a idea that was created when this country was created, uh, which is also uh, astounding to me that there's people who really think that race isn't a construct. Like it's not made up. Like like it's an actual real thing. Like it's a fact. Like race is a what's I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but like what's his name? I call him Tucker Nuts. Uh Tucker, what's his name? Tucker something.
Carlson, some Lord.
Tucker Carlson,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he had if we shared it with each other, but it was a video. He did an interview with was it Kumo?
Hmm.
And like Kumo was telling him, he was like race is not it's not a real thing. Like it was reinvented race in this country. Like it was that's where it began. And like Tucker was like, nah, it's a real thing. It's like in his mind, like his belief, like he really thought that it was a real thing and that certain things was passed down through like he was trying to word it to like through DNA, but because of like it was race. He was like things are passed down through DNA by race, and it's like that's not. And he was trying to tell him he was like that's not how that works.
Mhm.
That's pass things are passed down through DNA, yes, but it doesn't work as far as like race specific things are passed down through DNA. And he tried to say like, well, what about Italians? And he was like, that's still not how it works. You have other people from other cultures that move or migrate into different countries.
For
And
some people who are so big on Christianity and the Bible, they sure didn't read that part about how we all got in different places.
true. And so like he was trying to have that conversation and like he was just not hearing it. And it's like, and that's well, Christianity, that's another thing. That's
Mm.
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't I mean it's I find it very very interesting. But um as a bi biracial individual, like what has there ever been a time where like someone might have thought you was a different culture than what you were, or you identified as, or
Um, when we went to uh not basic training, but AIT, right? You know, you show up to AIT and it's like dark outside. You're standing at that line and you're getting your laundry and your linen so
Mhm.
you can take them to your barracks, right? One of the guys who was passing out the laundry was a Hispanic guy, and he just started talking to me, and I was like, I do not know what you're saying, sir. And he was like, no habla español. And I was like, nope, not at all. And he was like, it's okay. Take care of you anyway. And I was like, okay, cool. And being in Texas, uh, I get it a little bit every now and again, but no, not too often.
Hmm.
Not too often. I think most people see the features and they may not know what the other half is, but that nose gives it away every time.
What?
My nose. I have my mother's nose.
Hmm.
So I don't get confused for too much else. And I'm okay with that. I don't need to be exotic. I hate that idea that especially black women are more beautiful if they're exotic and mixed with something else. So I'm cool with it.
Hmm. Right on.
That whole colorism thing is a trigger for me. Um, Go ahead.
Yeah, it was after we had a conversation, me and Star had a con. She was telling me about like after the Super Bowl, and you was talking about there was like a lot of comments about uh after the Super Bowl performance about light skin versus dark skin, and like how it was kind of like. is getting out of control, kind of getting out of hand. And like that's um how is it? I feel like it's always been a thing, like within our community, like light skin versus dark skin, right? And
Yeah.
uh, but is it like what point does it become like beyond uh like a joke, like funny, like it's just like dark skin versus light skin as a punchline type setting, and then it becomes like, all right, now you're taking it too far. Like where's that line at?
For me, it's hard to say because what I might find funny today, and given the scenario of what's going on in the world tomorrow, might not be funny. Or for what might be funny to me might not be funny to anyone else. I think it's a thing that we definitely need to dial back on because the rest of the world doesn't care that I'm light skinned or that my mother is dark skinned. We're both black, and all these things that they're trying to do are going to affect us both. So, us going at each other because I'm lighter than you doesn't help because I'm still black if I get pulled over. Saint's still black if he gets pulled over. The police don't care that he's lighter than my mom. He's still a black man and seen as a threat. No pun intended. So I think we need to all dial it back because if you read about Jim Crow, all of this is designed to keep us at odds because if we're not in agreement and if we don't understand and get along with each other, we can't fight against other people if we're still at each other's necks about stupid stuff like who's lighter or darker than the other. I've never found jokes about darker skinned people funny in my whole life. Like it's not a joke I've ever made about somebody else. I see nothing funny about it. So it's not a joke I've ever made.
Huh.
My mother is a beautiful dark skinned woman, so a joke about dark skinned women would never be funny to me. I make jokes about the other side of my family though, but we won't go there. We're not talking about them though.
Out of control.
Yeah, I would agree. I definitely think, it starts with us and also teaching our kids to uh be very aware of their friends. And I always told Jay when she was younger in the middle school, one of her best friends were made fun of because they were darker, and she was very triggered by it. And I always told her it really didn't matter. Really, at the end of the day, you're cuter than the person that's making fun of you. That's just based on the inside and outside. So, um, anybody around me, it doesn't even matter what color that you are. I always want to treat you right and, do what I need to do. But for some people it is like that. I know I was very triggered over the weekend with is it Clarissa Shields, the boxer?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I saw her comments about light-skinned women and it was
You
just,
made comments?
huh?
You made comments about light
Yeah,
skin?
yeah, she did. I was just like, man, I think Remy should have popped you. Months back. Months back. You deserved it. Your mouth is a little reckless. Yeah.
Yeah, she was saying that people make fun of the clothes that she wears and that most of the comments come from light skinned women. And I was like, no, your clothes are just tacky.
Yes.
You make too much money to be dressing in Forever 21 still, baby.
Well,
It's tacky.
Mhm.
okay.
No comparison to Remy at all. So it's no competition, but that's just my thing. But to go that route and to say that, I was just like, you'll never have that many fans, honey. You may be popular right now, but talking like that and having that mindset will not get you far. So I don't care how much money you have right now. So That's just my thing.
Mm, interesting. All right. So I got a question. So they trying to make disagreeing with your president a mental illness. Have y'all seen it? I
I
forgot I
like
sent a
how you
picture of
said your.
y'all.
I did
It's
see that.
called TDS. And so if anybody watching, you haven't heard or if you're listening, if you haven't seen this, I highly suggest that you look it up. So some Republican senators in Minnesota who introduced a bill to say to classify TDS, which is called Trump derangement syndrome, as a mental illness. And basically, what this TDS says is that you have a you have a reaction, an extreme reaction to the decisions or interpretation to the policies or decisions that President Trump is making. So basically what it is if you disagree with current president, then it's a mental illness.
So do we get checks for this mental illness?
Of
Well,
course not. That would make you DEI if you have this mental illness. You're not gonna get no 504 plan or no IEP or nothing. Nothing. You're just gonna get kicked out of wherever you are or fired. Isn't it?
what you think about it, Ray Ray? Do you think, I mean,
When
like,
I think about it, I think it's just like everything else. It's like I feel like everything that's it gets introduced is a means to something in the future. But I feel like it's just another ploy to be like, hey, look what I'm doing because I support you. Like look at me and look at what I'm doing. That's what I feel about it. I feel like it's ridiculous. You're trying to it's going to start with other politicians, especially Democratic politicians, Democratic Party. But anyone who votes a certain way, who gets on news outlets and speaks against, the decisions and the policies that, he introduces or anybody introduces that they feel is not in their favor. And, it happens a lot. And like Tennessee, I I seen y'all stuff about, stuff that's going on here in Tennessee. Tennessee is doing a lot of stuff that is ridiculous. And it's beyond, it has gotten beyond just uh Republican and Democratic. It's politicians, it's Republican politicians against everyone else
mhm,
here in Tennessee. Because even their own constituents are not agreeing to the policies and the bills and the laws that they're introducing and passing here in Tennessee. And uh, they're Republican politicians are doing these town halls, even in Tennessee. And their own constituents are showing up and are not pleased with their performance. And it's crazy. Like I think it was a few months ago, Tennessee politicians uh, they introduced and passed a bill to go to the House saying that because there was when they first started doing that mass deportation and they was looking at they was talking about sanctuary cities where if you're undocumented individual in the country, they'll set up sanctuary cities within the state where you can be safe. And the Republican parties and to be there, they introduced a bill was like, no, we're not having no sanctuary cities here. And if you vote in favor or introduce anything in favor of a sanctuary city, it's a federal offense. Like that's the stuff that they're introducing here in Tennessee, in the state of Tennessee. Like there's a lot of things are being tested and pushed in Tennessee. And some things if it goes in the state, then they can start looking at it at the federal level. So it's like this is what they're doing. Like just last week or earlier this week, they just voted and passed a bill to raise interest on predatory loans in the state of Tennessee. So predatory loan companies in the state of Tennessee are about to raise their interest rates on loans even more than what they already are. And state of Congress, the Tennessee Congress passed it to go up in to the governor.
Mm.
And there was Democrats that voted yes on the bill.
Can I ask y'all something? For the Democrats and people that are supporting the government funding bill that I guess passed this week.
Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, Chuck Schumer. They really were going after Chuck this week.
Hmm.
And may like you as a person, may be a great person, but are you caving a little bit? And he tried to explain it different ways on different shows of he wanted to save Social Security and um uh what is it SNAP and all of that. So different programs to make sure that kids eat and all of that. I get it to a certain point, but I just feel like when you are dancing with the devil to a certain point, like when is the cutoff of when you're going to take a stand and say, no, we're not doing that? I just feel like the last couple of months have been over and over of people needing to stand up for the people, and they're not standing up for us, the workers. They're just not at this point. So many layers of conversations with this, but I just don't know, y'all. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's frustrating as a government employee every however often it's happened because I think we've been furloughed a few times in my career. The dance that we do the 24 hours before to see if the budget's going to get passed. You got soldiers calling, this hasn't gotten paid, when are you going to approve my voucher for this? Because it doesn't just stop like me as a civilian employee's pay. Soldiers aren't getting paid either. Reserve soldiers, National Guard soldiers who get paid by people like me, when there's no budget, all of that pauses and we're fielding calls. Soldiers are frustrated. It is a very frustrating week always leading up to that budget being passed.
Hmm.
How do you feel about that, Star? Like I know it's a lot of stress.
It is. On one hand, I'm like, on one hand, I am thankful that I'm gonna get paid next week. But on the other hand, there does have to be a change. Someone has to stand up, and those things never happen without some discomfort and some pain. So I always try to mentally prepare myself for what if we are furloughed next week? How do we do this? I'm a hoarder, so at least we'll never run out of toilet paper. But trying to mentally prepare myself to make sure that if we don't get paid for a month, I think the longest one that I was a part of was about a month and a half, maybe. I'm not super sure. How do we survive? Who do I call to let them know, like, hey, I work for the federal government. This is what's going on. Um, and make sure that me and my family are okay. And so it's hard because I want to get paid because I'm working, but change never happens without discomfort. So being prepared in case I need to be uncomfortable for a little while because something's got to give. So,
Mhm.
Something's got to give.
yes.
But Chuck Schumer ain't get nothing. He voted yes and he ain't get nothing. He wasn't he didn't debate for nothing. It was just yeah, but it's you're saying that you want SNAP and all that stuff to still continue, but they're getting those programs. So like what is your true reason for voting yes and keeping the government open and allowing the funding to continue? Like it sucks. Yes, I get it. But I mean,
I have to find the article I was reading. He said that he felt like if the government did shut down, there was already an ulterior motive or something in play for should it shut down. And I'm gonna have to see if I can go back and find that because I was reading something where he said that he felt like it would be more in the president's favor if the government shut down, and that's why he couldn't let it happen.
He was
I,
saying on the View that it would be either cut your hand off or your arm off, or you wouldn't have anything. Basically, he was explaining to Sonny from what I heard, a
Mhm.
little bit of it. So he said, would it be okay and we can deal with it with Elon orchestrating all of this, or could we possibly maintain it to a certain level? Because he is the one that's overseeing all of this excessive cutting, and we're saving money and all of that. So he said Social Security could not be at risk because a lot of our older people are depending on those checks. And yes, I agree with that. Um, Kids, like Ray Ray just said, the SNAP program and other programs are going to be cut and possibly sent back to the states. I know we have a bill right now that they're trying to push for free lunch for everyone in the state. So I agree with that. I feel like that, that should happen. They should never go to school hungry or feel like, okay, I'm not gonna eat because I don't have money on my lunch account. So,
Because some of these kids, that's their only meals that they're getting real meals is the breakfast and lunch at school.
yes, it is true. So I I
them
agree with
square
them to
pieces,
a certain point. What did you say?
them square pieces. They still do square pieces. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Continue.
I'm sure somebody does.
They might not even do squares no more. In some places, they order their pizzas from the local places. So I know Papa John's was very popular here for a little bit of time. So
Yeah,
Square pizza and milk at 10:30 in the morning is will never.
diabolical,
Oh my God.
diabolical.
And that's why we all got stomach issues now.
And then you had to
Square
go,
pizzas and milk at 10:30.
and then you went to the gym after that.
Dodgeball.
gosh, I never thought of it like that. They really set us up.
Yeah,
Yes. Like who eats sloppy joes and drinks milk at the same time?
facts. And you know you're gonna get chocolate milk
Chocolate milk,
in the
yes.
pouch.
In the pouch.
In the pouch.
A lot of people don't appreciate the era of chocolate milk in the pouch. Some of these kids didn't know nothing about the pouch, and I feel sad for them about that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sloppy Joe's, chocolate milk, dodgeball.
I'll wait until I get home. I'll take that choice. My kids do the same thing. I'm just like, you don't eat at the school? No, the food is nasty. I'm just like, and then you'll come in here and eat everything in here. Eat at the school. Eat that stuff. Put some salt on it or something. So,
Since we talking about school lunch, have you seen these videos of the lunch that they get over in like China?
mm,
Oh my gosh, oh, they are getting gourmet meals at schools.
really?
And it continues their whole life because when they go work for these corporations, they have lunch just like that at work. Like they don't have to go out and get lunch. They just go to the little line and they eat good.
Very good.
But if you see any video on the difference between American lunches and lunches in other countries, like I would go to Italy and eat lunch as a kid any day over what they eat here in America. Except for in New Orleans, because they have gumbo and grilled cheese for lunch.
Mm.
That ain't diabolical.
I
Gumbo
mean,
and grilled
it is
cheese.
if you drink milk.
Gumbo and grilled cheese.
Listen, I'll eat gumbo and grilled cheese on any given day. Just y'all can keep the milk though. Let me get some
Ooh.
juice or something.
That's wild.
Mm.
It's better than that square pizza
I mean,
and them canned peaches.
yeah, that gummy cheese.
Boy. But
But
yeah,
don't
they eat great. I mean, you have to watch the studies on what they eat in other countries versus what they eat here, and it is drastic.
absolutely. Like when I was in Europe and Korea, food is way different, way better. They don't even let American food over in other countries,
Hmm.
right? Like even if food that's made here in a country in this country that gets shipped over like Canada is not the same food that's sold in our grocery store.
Really?
Yep.
Yes. The same cereal, Fruit Loops and Fruitios and Sugar Smacks and all that stuff that what's sold here in the States is not the same that goes on that plane across over to Canada or wherever else it's going. They
Yeah,
get
they don't let their kids eat a lot of the junk we have. I have a friend who was overseas and ate at a McDonald's and got like a little strawberry sundae. And he came back to the States like, man, I never ate those when I was here. I'm going to get one. Ended up in the hospital because he's allergic to red dye 40. Because overseas, that's actual strawberries made into syrup. Over here, it's sugar and red dye 40.
yes.
And there people are developing allergies to it. It's ridiculous.
It's
But it's in
crazy.
everything.
Wow.
I went to a McDonald's in Germany, I think it was, or Spain. I think it was Germany. I think it was Germany. But they had shrimp on the menu.
I
Like
wouldn't eat shrimp at a McDonald's in the US.
right. But I was like, oh, that's interesting. I got the shrimp at the McDonald's in Germany. It smelled like it came fresh out the sea. It was like real shrimp, like fresh shrimp, and it was amazing. Like I don't eat at McDonald's now, but I wouldn't eat no nah. But it's the food is way different. You can go over there, you can go eat McDonald's overseas and be perfectly fine. You'll taste the difference.
Hmm.
What did they sell with that shrimp? What was
Uh it was same thing. It was like shrimp and I think like French fries like the menus overseas are different.
okay?
Oh
And
yeah.
I heard that you can go up to I think it's Chicago and they have the World McDonald's in Chicago
Yep.
and you're able to look at the different menus and you can try I think you can try the food
Hmm.
different from the McDonald's in different countries in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, I
Yep.
wouldn't trust it because it's still in America.
Made here. Yep.
Like go over there and get it, but but yeah,
I'd go to Korean McDonald's. Well, I'm
man,
not going to any McDonald's right now, but
them egg McMuffins used to slap at 6 a.m. in Korea. I'm telling you, I bought two and I dropped one. I was
I
heated.
bulgogi burger.
Oh my goodness.
But they had those.
See, y'all making Korea look better and better to me every day. I'd eat a bulgogi burger for lunch.
They, they got Popeyes in Korea. They got KFC in Korea.
Look, we got a co-signer over here. He said Popeyes and Korea slaps.
See, I'm telling you, my man, he know it.
Speaking of Popeyes, this is totally off topic, but nobody remembers this but me. Do you remember when Popeyes on Fort Hood sold breakfast?
No,
Maybe it's because I was pregnant and y'all were all at PT. But Popeyes on Fort Hood on the first cab side used to sell breakfast, and I would go get breakfast every morning while I was pregnant with Destiny.
nah, I wasn't thinking about no Popeyes at the PT.
Well, I didn't have to do PT, I was pregnant.
He was pregnant, but I wasn't thinking about Popeyes. Plus, I probably didn't have a car at the time, and I wasn't going all the way across post
Okay, fine.
because I was on the 4ID
I just
side.
don't believe, I just can't believe that nobody remembers that but me. Like, maybe I just dreamed that the whole time I was pregnant.
Wild.
Man.
What did they sell at that time of morning?
They had, I remember it very specifically.
Chicken biscuits.
You could get a hash brown, you could get a chicken biscuit. They
See,
had sausage and gravy, and they had these little powdery scrambled eggs, which I never ate.
Yeah, sea rat eggs at Popeyes.
Yep.
That's wild.
But they had sausage and gravy on a biscuit. I never ate that either because the biscuits looked a little hard. They looked like the biscuits from the night before when nobody ate the chicken and the biscuits, and then they just put some gravy on it. But the chicken sandwich was good.
Mm.
But apparently, I'm the only person that remembers that, and that's crazy.
Come on over here and get on the mic.
He said, "Come on over here and get on the mic."
I don't think they got enough space for both. This mic ain't big enough for two of us.
Oh,
Hey, that could be a good podcast thing. This mic ain't big enough
You
for
got to
us.
turn the phone sideways.
Fine, I'll get in.
What up, though?
What up? What up?
What's poppin'?
Man, look, I'm good. A little bit under the weather, but I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Man, what Star do to you?
Yeah, look,
why is
she tried to poison me. That's what happened was she slipped something in my food. Her cooking is good, but she slipped something in there, is what it was. And I've been out of commission for 2 days.
Well, you said she from East Texas. You know that.
Yeah.
They where they be putting stuff in the spaghetti.
No, that's all through Louisiana and someplace in
Oh,
Florida too. So you gotta watch that. I was told when I was younger, never eat a woman's red sauce.
mm.
So if she makes spaghetti or anything that have a red sauce, I was told never to eat it.
So you
But
eating out on them days?
yeah, that's the. Well, I'm
that
making
wouldn't that
spaghetti.
wouldn't apply to me though.
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't apply to
It
me.
wouldn't apply to you for that one. I'm just saying.
Mm.
So for those who don't understand why, I had a hysterectomy, so I couldn't do that anyway.
Oh well, fair.
Hey, this is a
And
fair
that's nasty.
podcast. I don't know. We talk about no hysterectomies on here. Calm down.
Just segregation and,
Right.
and racism. Oh man.
Did y'all see that? I gotta look it up. I don't, but I gotta do my more research. But apparently, Trump, he scrapped the what was it? For federal buildings to have to segregate or something like that, or
Yeah,
don't
I
segregate.
think I guess he basically made it no longer illegal to segregate facilities, federal facilities or something like that.
Yep. So whites only bathrooms, whites only water fountain, that kind of stuff. Coloreds only sections of a restaurant can be a thing now because
In federal
in
facilities.
federal
Federal
facilities.
facilities.
I don't think that was ever really a thing in federal facilities. Did they have whites or was it really or did we just
Yeah,
not
you
get the
didn't
same
you
buildings?
didn't watch Hidden Figures?
No, I have not
Oh,
seen that one.
they
Like
made that
what's in
baby
it?
walk all the way across campus to go to the
Oh yeah, I
bathroom.
do remember.
It was like a
Oh, I
half
didn't
mile.
watch it, but I discussed it, and I do
Mm-hmm.
remember that being a topic that came up. Somebody well, I didn't discuss it. Someone else was explaining it to me.
Yep.
How y'all feel about that? Going back to that, it's a tester to see what works, what doesn't work.
What was it? Was it aimed at like the Was it initially aimed at like the LGBTQ and shared bathrooms and stuff like that?
I don't know if the wording was because back then I don't even know if they would have been talking about that as much. But I feel
Mm,
like a lot of this stuff that they throw out, decent normal human beings aren't going to do this, but it makes people emboldened to say and do and try things, and also to get us to react, which is why I'm always telling people like use your words, but do not give them the reaction that they're looking for because they are looking for you to react so that they
mhm.
can say whatever they want about us or do things to us specifically based on our reaction. So
Yep.
it's
Me, I believe don't ever give anybody the ammo to use against you. They got an unloaded gun. You give them enough ammo, and that's your ass. Oh, pardon me. I don't know if we're allowed to. Do we?
no, we can only not talk about hysterectomies. You
Oh,
can say
okay. So I could curse. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I wasn't certain. I didn't think about it before I said it.
but no, I feel like a lot of this, like I said, is just to get a reaction out of us. Um, and we have to stop fighting them that way. We have to start doing this the smart way because I don't know all the ins and outs of martial law, but I know that's a thing that people like to throw out when we react a certain way.
Yes, emboldening, uh, kind of like self-policing.
Hmm.
It's and that's well anyway. That's we'll have to we'll have to table that for the next conversation.
Because I don't know if I told you about I'm telling y'all, I need an intervention. I'm gonna stop arguing with these people on the internet. But I had an argument discussion with a guy yesterday who was like, I don't understand why y'all are against segregation. Y'all segregated yourselves and gave yourselves your own universities. And I was like, let's dial that back. Because, they love throwing out percentages that don't exist. You're like, yeah, 95% of these schools are all black. Actually, they're not. HBCUs have never not let non-black students in, and we're not gonna go all the way around the fact or the reasoning for why we had to have HBCUs in the first place. So we didn't segregate ourselves. You wouldn't allow our people in, so we had to create institutions of higher learning for
Right.
ourselves because you wouldn't. So don't act like we decided to segregate. Your ancestors did that. And he was like, it's 95% black there. And I was like, no, it's not. Matter of fact, West Virginia State University is 77% white. Also in West Virginia, but it's an HBCU and it's only like 15% black. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, and it
But
is
they
a
love throwing out them fake percentages.
Right? See, things like that is why I hate the conversation. Whenever you have a discussion with one of them, I was like, why does it matter who's black and white and what they achieve? Why do you need to you want to keep harping on those old things when this is, I'm like, but the issue with that is you wouldn't have to have conversations like this if this information was readily available, if it was more talked about. They want to hide this information so that they could say things like, well, y'all don't allow us in, and then nobody has enough information to combat them. But if you have somebody who knows, or if you have the information and somebody knows how to find it, you can argue. But that's the thing. They want to be able to have these half truths.
Yeah.
misinformation. This is it's
Yeah.
terrible. You know what I mean? And I kind of I hate percentages because you can skew percentages. But if you give
Mhm.
real numbers, like give those real numbers, don't give me percentages on something because you can skew a percentage to look your way. You know what I'm saying? Because you can say, well, 85% of the black community is in jail, but it's like, yeah, but you're only comparing that number within the black community, but you're not comparing that number to the entire community, the entire nation of the country as a whole, right? You know
They
what I'm saying?
love to do that with welfare. Like, yeah, majority of black families are on food stamps. I mean, that may or may not be true, but we're not going to also go around the fact that majority of the people who benefit from welfare are actually white people.
Hmm.
So if you're looking at percentages, absolutely. We had the same debate about abortion rates. They want to keep this world looking a certain way because they're afraid of them no longer being the majority. And the reason that they don't want abortions to be as accessible, they'll say that it's black and brown people that have a huge percentage of abortions, but if you look at the raw data, it's not us.
Absolutely not.
And you don't want more of us anyway. So that abortion stuff has nothing to do with black and brown families at all. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop arguing with people.
You know what they say? 62% of all statistics are made up.
That HBCU talk is really heavy right now. I just had a conversation with a cousin last week. He said he didn't want to go to a PWI because he is tired of being around them in high school. And those are the same kind of statements that my kids have had, other people close to us. It's something that I didn't look at originally as a parent. Meaning what they experience in high school, they get so sick of it that they're just like, okay, I want to go be with my people and be educated by my people. And they will give me the truth, not an edited version of their truth. So I think that the attendance at HBCUs are going to continue to go up if they have funding. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard in elementary, middle, and high school because you want your kids to be around people like them, people that they can relate to. We want our kids growing up with kids that are like them. But we also want our kids, especially in the elementary, middle, and high school years, to get the best education. And you know that our demographic is not getting the best teachers, the best funding, the best facilities. And so I do feel bad for kids who have to go to a different school outside of their neighborhood because we don't get funded the same way. And that's why I like having my kids in a charter school. It's very diverse. Their teachers are diverse. They teach all kinds of stuff. They have a lot more freedom over what they can teach outside of the ISDs. And then, if they want, I absolutely support them going to an HBCU.
Yep.
But everything, especially in the state of Texas, is based on that standardized testing and all those scores. So if you don't put your kids in the right schools, they're not going to pass those tests. They're not going to get taught the right things. They're not going to be prepared for these exams. And then their ability to go to college is going to change. So it's it is not designed to keep our kids in our neighborhoods, but also give them the best education at the same time.
It's tracking. Tracking.
Yep.
Mm, man, all right, we restart time. We have to come back. We gotta do another episode. Uh, we have to get Saint back on here for a full episode and not like the last 5, 10 minutes.
I'm
Uh,
okay with making a guest appearance.
maybe you can come like 20 minutes before.
All right,
We have to
cool.
ease them into
We'll
the full
ease you, yeah, we'll
hour.
ease you in here. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like the sixth ranger. All right, I'm just like I'm okay to be like that. All right, I don't need to be the whole thing, but yeah.
I hope you feel better. That stuff is going around crazy.
Oh look, I don't even know. I thought it was a sinus infection, but whew,
Mm,
Right.
that ick. All
It
right.
wasn't me though.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't her. It was probably work. Honestly, it was probably work because for whatever reason, once COVID loosened up and they removed all the extra precautions, all the weird extra plastic strips they had to keep people separated. Once you didn't have to wear a mask, everybody just decided. And here's the funny part, right, about being a black man. Before COVID, white people used to give me space, right? But something happened when COVID happened, and they want to be right here. You in the line, you in the grocery store, they like right up on the back of you. I'm at work, they like to come get right in your face when they talk. I'm like, what changed with COVID? Right? When they say make America great again, I want to go back to the time when they didn't want to be up in my personal space. That's what I want. I want them to not want to be up in my personal space because man, that's how I think I keep getting sick because they just want to come
They didn't like people telling them what they could and couldn't do.
right. And now
They didn't want to be segregated.
because I'm like, hey, yo, can I still get my 6 feet, please? Can we bring that back? Can we bring back 6 feet? Keep a bubble of
Bang,
6 feet,
bang, bang.
right? That's what I want. I want my 6 feet back.
Yeah. Oh, Indians don't know about that bag back.
Oh,
Oh,
She don't know about that bag back. Give me 50 feet.
they don't. They don't. They didn't play that in Delaware.
I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming at some point. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, look, it
One point
wasn't
he was
until
gonna
you
try and
said that.
read it in there somewhere.
Nah, man. Look, you trying to have me up on somewhere national talking about my conspiracy theory.
but you know what's funny is he's not the only person that says it. I had never heard this before until he said it, and Destiny's girlfriend was like, "Yeah, Delaware is made up," and I was
She's like,
like,
yeah, no, it's not real.
"What?"
Like, look, if you
Am I the only person in America that never heard that Delaware didn't exist? But
And
she
like the
says
funny
it.
part is, it's not necessarily that I really believe it. It's just fun to poke with people. Because I'll tell somebody that's my favorite not real conspiracy that I like to talk to people about. And then people get real defensive about it, even though I told them that I'm just fucking with them. So then now I gotta see it through. So now I just gotta get further and further into the craziness of why Delaware isn't real. Just because it's getting a rise out of them. Like I don't right? Like I've never been to Delaware. No, I can't think of a Delaware landmark, right? Somebody was like, no, look, there's a bridge. I got a picture right here of this bridge. I was like, that bridge could be anywhere. That could be Minnesota for all I know. How am I supposed to like why so now I just got people like crazy trying to convince me that Delaware is real when I don't really care either way. I just love bothering them about it. Like I got three people that every time they see me, that's their thing. They have to try to show me something they
Something else
found
about
about
Delaware? That's
What is our landmark? We don't have one, right?
See?
bad. Y'all do have an
Delaware.
HBCU though.
Huh?
I bet they do. Was it Miskatonic University? Like what
It's
is it?
Delaware State University or something like that.
Delaware State.
Yeah, I guess that is our landmark, Delaware State.
Now I'm gonna go ask four people. Hey, you ever heard of Delaware State University? And if they can, because everybody knows Mount Rushmore, everybody knows the Golden Gate Bridge. We all know the St. Louis Arch. We all know the Statue of Liberty. You can think of what's something in California. What's a
Oh,
landmark in
France trying to
California?
repo that.
Who? Yeah, I heard. That's hilarious.
France trying to repo that.
I heard it's like obviously y'all don't really like her like that, so we'll take her back. I saw that. I
I think
saw
I
that.
sent y'all the video about the lady explaining about the chains that she has.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting that I didn't know that.
You got to watch your research into the Statue of Liberty because some people are trying to. There's the Statue of Liberty was originally black people, and that's not true. She did originally have chains. She was originally a statement about slavery, but she was not black. There is a artist in I think the St. Martin Islands actually who he created a statue that looks very similar, but it is a black woman holding a lantern instead of a torch.
Mm.
And it's a similar statue to the Statue of Liberty. It's actually a really beautiful statue. I suggest people look it up, look into it, go see it if you're in the area.
What's Louisiana's landmark?
Louisiana landmark. I mean, we got Bourbon Street. Everybody knows
Gumbo.
Bourbon Street. That's not a landmark, but
Gumbo and grilled cheese though.
right. I mean, that's for the people who like if you're a native and you grew up there in the school cafeteria, they always gave you a triangle of grilled cheese with your gumbo. So some of us like who grew up.
Did you drink milk with it though?
Oh God, no, I
Oh.
didn't drink. Well, I'm lactose intolerant, so
We were talking about the square pizza and milk at 10:30 in the morning, and then go play dodgeball at PE.
that was a terrible idea.
Horrible.
That was you just shaking that up. That's like Pop Rocks and or like Mentos and Coke. You might as well just put any kind of volatile stuff in them and shake people up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to go do some research on Delaware when we get off.
You go and look for Delaware landmarks.
Mhm.
Allegedly, they have like a harbor or a pier where they fish for crabs. Somebody at work was trying to tell me, no, it's a really famous. And I was like, what's it called? And they couldn't think of the name of it. I was like,
Where's it at, guys?
huh?
Again?
Where's it at? Where's the pier at?
I don't know.
They don't know.
I don't know that there was. I'm telling you, people they go
What was
to
it?
the crazy lengths to try to prove to me that Delaware is real.
Even though he doesn't actually believe it's
Right?
not.
I mean, I'm not saying I do or don't believe it's real. I'm just saying that I'm only doing it for fun. I enjoy getting a rise out of people. I don't have no dog in this fight. What's going to happen if I find out one day that Delaware isn't real? Nothing. I'm like, oh my God, I was right this whole time. Right? Like, I'm going to be as surprised as them.
I'm gonna figure it out. I'm about to do my Googles.
Right? Look, Delaware is like there's a place that I think there's a couple places that we believe are real that probably aren't, and it's all one place, and everybody thinks they're going to that other place, but it's always somebody from an area that's never been there, right? Because if you're not from that area, you don't know what
Yeah,
Delaware
his last 5 minutes turned into 20, didn't it?
Oh, my bad. I didn't know we were still recording.
We are.
What? See, now y'all got me looking crazy on the podcast. But I don't know. I just like having fun, and that's one of the ways I do to keep myself from going crazy is drive other people crazy about Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. All right. So appreciate y'all. Thanks for making the time. Thanks for coming out, hanging out, talking.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Final thoughts? Final thoughts? India, final thought.
I don't have a final thought. I don't.
Star?
I don't have one.
Same?
Hey, y'all have like y'all is this do they have comments? Like do people comment on this? All right, so like I have a final thought. Hey, look, if you know a Delaware landmark, post it in the comments. Like I'd like to come read the comments to come see if there's an actual landmark from Delaware, that people should know. I mean, maybe get the awareness out there so we can dispel this rumor.
Oh, not awareness.
Y'all see what I gotta deal with? This is every day.
Oh man. All right. Well, I will catch y'all next time, and I'll see. Dang, I got dark hair. Y'all be easy.